Let's face it, a Formula One schedule is hardly set in stone, with races being moved around the schedule sometimes, and of course even being cancelled. So how do we fill the void as F1 fans in those moments of downtime? Well, we can dive into where Formula One has creeped into movies, television and pop culture. I'm Ollie Wilson for GP Fans, and these are the 10 films and TV shows that you should be watching if you're an F1 fan. Let us know in the comment section below if we've missed any out at all, and of course hit the subscribe button to stick with us here at the YouTube channel. But here are the ways to fill the void with movies and TV when there's a bit of F1 downtime. Rush. The 2013 film Rush beautifully depicts the intense fight between opposites James Hunt and Niki Lauda from the 1970s. The feature film starring Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl delves deeper into the duel between the pair, which ultimately results in an all-decisive climax. Awarded a 8.1 rating on IMDb, the film is actually a must-see for racing fans and those that perhaps just like a bit of drama in their movies, and undoubtedly a great option to watch in the absence of on-track action. Senna. Perhaps one of the most famous films about Formula One is the documentary Senna, released in 2010, which depicts the life and illustrious career of the legendary Ayrton Senna. Senna portrays the Brazilian's entire story, from debut to his tragic death in Imola, and, like the film above, is really a documentary that every racing fan must see. To enhance the viewing, kill the lights and turn the speakers up to 11 Spinal Tap style. This is one that can encompass all the senses as you're viewing. The documentary, made by Asif Kapadia, is also richly rewarded on IMDb with an 8.5 rating. 1. Life on the Limit. As we all know, Formula One has a history of being one of the riskiest sports ever. In contrast to 2023, when the cars are extremely safe, things were very different in the past. One Life on the Limit chronicles the lives of the Formula One drivers who put their lives in danger every week during the most hazardous time in the history of the top division of motor racing. It also focuses on the men who rose to prominence and transformed the sport irrevocably. IMDb gave it a 7.9 rating out of 10. Le Mans 66 2019. This feature film, produced by Michael Mann, with Hollywood stars Christian Bale and Matt Damon shining in their roles, explores the 1960s race between superpowers Ford and Ferrari. It tells the story of building a revolutionary racing car using new technology of the time to beat the competition. It's definitely worth a watch, even though it's not necessarily about Formula One. It gets an 8.1 rating on IMDb. Grand Prix. Okay, so we're going to the very back of the cupboard here for this one, but the feature film Grand Prix is a true motorsport film classic, and if you can get through the somewhat outdated filming techniques, it's a surefire bet for enjoyment if you give it a chance. The film focuses on the 1966 season, which featured such names as Juan Manuel Fangio, Graham Hill, Jackie Stewart and Jim Clark, and came out in 1966. The movie actually won 3 Oscars and has a 7.2 rating on IMDb. Schumacher. The ultimate documentary of the F1 icon that is Michael Schumacher. Followed by millions worldwide, his strong will and triumphant fight to win against all odds put Michael Schumacher at the centre of the global attention. Michael Schumacher's journey has captured the imagination of millions, but there is a lot more than motor racing to the success of this very private man. However, it is not only his fighting spirit and striving for perfection that defines Michael Schumacher as a person. His self-doubt and insecurities complete the picture of a sensitive and reflective man, even if that didn't come across necessarily on track at times. At the heart of Michael's story are his parents, his children, and Karina Schumacher, his childhood sweetheart, and the love of his life. It's available on Netflix for your viewing pleasure. Drive to Survive. Netflix's Drive to Survive is one of the most well-known Formula One documentary series and offers unmatched behind-the-scenes access to F1 teams and drivers. And let's face it, a lot of us are watching Formula One because of this series. It highlights both the races and the individuals who make them possible, providing viewers with a unique look at Formula One's inner workings, or under the hood if you will, and demonstrating how events actually transpire as opposed to perhaps the PR-friendly version you might read in the moment. Drive to Survive has drawn criticism from long-term F1 fans for its imaginative retelling, shall we put it, of some of the events and the dramatic treatment of others. But it is an ideal entry point for F1 newcomers and has changed the sport in terms of generating a grander audience. Ferrari Race to Immortality. Ferrari Race to Immortality chronicles Ferrari's heyday in the 1950s, when the company was on the rise. Enzo Ferrari is at the centre of both tragedy and triumph as he builds his empire. The documentary highlights the team's rich motorsport history, from cinematic drama to heartbreak and success tinged with sadness. This gives us the insight into just how Ferrari became the iconic name it is now in motorsport and throughout the world. Williams is primarily a close-up glimpse into the Williams family's soul. The narrative spans from Frank Williams founding the team to his daughter Claire taking over the reins today, using a combination of new and archival footage. Virginia Williams, Frank's wife and Claire's mother, and the role she played in the family's success are certainly in the spotlight. Interviews with people like Sir Patrick Head and Nigel Mansell, amongst others, help bring the story of a real motorsporting family business to life. It's available from BBC Films if you want to view it. McLaren. The story of Bruce McLaren is told through new dramatised footage alongside the original film and supported by interviews with those who knew him. The documentary's most striking aspect is how it demonstrates the extraordinary loyalty and dedication he inspired in those who worked for him as he rose from modest beginnings in New Zealand to the pinnacle of motorsport. The story of McLaren's visionary founder never ceases to be moving as the company struggles to recover from recent setbacks. So which of these movies, TV shows and documentaries are you going to be sinking your teeth into first? Remember, GP Fans Global across social media for all your updates and latest news in Formula One, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below to stick with us here at the channel.